are shaking. My heart is pounding. What am I doing here? My parents said, wear business casual. I'm thinking to myself, I'm only 12 years old. What is business casual? Instead, I take a huge breath in, and I burst through the door, proudly wearing my best outfit. An hour later, there's blue, there's green, and there's red everywhere. Unicorns, dragons, and elves jumping off of the pieces of paper, animatedly coming to life. Colors were everywhere. And I'm not just talking about on the pieces of paper, I'm talking about on me too. My red rayon shirt was stained with green, and my black pants were every color of the rainbow imaginable. But that didn't matter. I loved it. It was preschool art class, my first volunteer job. I look to the corner of the classroom, and I see a little girl. She's wearing a beautiful pink and white polka-dotted dress. Beautiful chocolate brown hair spiraling down, touching her shoulders. They're up in two pigtails, one with a green band and one with a blue band. I walk over to her, and as I get closer, I see her name, written in neat block letters, Polly. I approach her and look her in the eye. Hi, Polly. How are you doing today? What have you got there? And I look at her paper. And it's blank. Why? Polly didn't have the dexterity to hold that crayon, the crayon needed to bring her imagination to life. In fact, Polly wasn't able to hold a paintbrush, the paintbrush to paint that background of a rainbow or those clouds. Polly couldn't hold a spoon to eat her favorite meal of chocolate pudding. I helped Polly take home a piece of art that day, but I knew it wasn't enough. I still remember her downcast expression, the frown on her face, and the tears that she was so trying hard to hide, but a few escaped and rolled down her cheeks. I was only 12 years old, but I knew I had to do more. That event charted the course of my life. Volunteering became my passion, and it defines who I am. I always knew that my purpose was to help people through volunteering, and I looked at it as a small way to give back, to help create a healthy community. I would talk about volunteering to anybody and everybody around the dinner table, the coffee table, and the breakfast table. In fact, conversations with my parents often went like this. So, Mom, I know the other day I volunteered at that art camp, and the day before was soccer camp, but today I have the children's festival, and I was wondering if you could drive me. Not again, Hebah. That is the third time this week. Please? I loved volunteering. So at 15 years old, it was no surprise when I started Youth for Care. Youth for Care is an organization that bridges together youth in our community with volunteer opportunities in our local community. Between April 2015 and December 2015, we grew to over 50 members who were dedicated, passionate about giving their time to help foster a healthy community. But Polly Polly never left my mind. Since then, I had worked with many kids with neurodevelopmental conditions and other disabilities that stopped them from exploring the world in ways which we often take for granted. So, at 17, when I saw my first 3D printer, my mind was racing. You may be asking, what exactly is a 3D printer? A 3D printer works just like a regular printer, except you get three-dimensional solid objects. Think of it like building a cake. You bake all of the layers, and then you layer them down one by one by one, and the cake builds upwards. A 3D printer works just like that. The printer prints out each layer, and the item is built upwards. So take this picture of a cake. Nothing too exciting. You can print out this cake with your computer at home and your printer. But what if I told you that you could use your computer and a 3D printer to print something like this? A 3D printed cake. It astounds me the potential that 3D printing has for our future. So Youth for Care decided to use 3D printing to help people like Polly. I will say, 17-year-old Hebah had a lot of thoughts running through her brain. How expensive is this going to be? How will we learn this? Will this even help anyone? But we imagined Polly picking up one of these tools, one of these 3D printed tools, and using this tool to draw that picture of a unicorn with those blue wings and that pink horn. We imagined Polly picking up this device to paint that rainbow, or even those clouds in the sky, or the flowers and the grass in the background. We imagined Polly using this tool to eat her favorite meal, chocolate pudding. For me, it would be ice cream. But what about you? What would you eat with this tool? So with that, Youth for Care set out to use 3D printing to help people like Polly. And we did this with the 4 Ps: purpose, practice, partner, and promote. With our purpose to help in mind, we set out and fundraised, and $3,000 later, Youth for Care had our own 3D printer. Now, practicing with the 3D printer was not a piece of cake. It was frustrating. The pieces would fall off or break down, but help was always there when we asked for it. Libraries, universities, and other 3D printed communities came together to help us achieve this goal. We partnered with schools, child development centers, and other hospitals to provide these items to people like Polly. And finally, standing in front of you here today, promoting our message is truly humbling. So the 4 Ps: purpose, practice, partner, and promote. I would like to leave you with one thought by Mahatma Gandhi. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Volunteering has changed my life, and I can say the same for many of the volunteers that I work with at Youth for Care. We've become confident and passionate, helping to create a healthy community. So let's just take a minute and ask yourself, is there something that gets your hands shaking or your heart pounding? Is there something that's in you to give? Volunteering can change someone's life. We were able to imagine Polly using these devices, but there did come a day when we saw a little girl pick up this device and draw a flower, and her mom and her dad. And at the end of the art class, she ran to her parents and she said, look at what I made. She asked them, can we hang this on that special place above the fireplace? Seeing an impact like that is the true meaning of volunteering. When you volunteer, you give the greatest gift that you have, your time. Volunteering can change someone's life to help create a healthy community. And maybe, just maybe, that life could be yours. Thank you.